Hey, if you love florals and you love autumn and you want to get a new source of inspiration for creating beautiful florals, then this is the video for you. I make weekly art tutorials, paint-alongs and vlogs, and in this video I am going to be sharing my experience at a wonderful workshop that I took that was being hosted by Omar Wynn and Clare Therese Gray. Let me take you through a wonderful day and all the lessons that I have learned and gained from going to this workshop. As I share the tips, the lessons, as well as the day that I spent there, I implore you to pause if you see flowers that you like, to take screenshots of anything that you find inspiring, and just really use this video as a resource to come back to. The workshop took place in a beautiful flower farm in Hampshire called the Lower Norton Flower Farm. And it was just absolutely stunning. There were flowers everywhere, as you can see, and I feel like this video doesn't quite do it justice, but it's a beautiful reminder of the time there. And this leads me to the first point, which is seek out the inspiration from your surroundings. You may not have a stunning flower farm to hand, but there are usually flowers that you can look at in supermarkets, or you may have flowers in your home, or even looking at flowers on the streets, by the trees, in the bushes, just looking for the beauties and the different shapes that inspire you when you are looking around can be such a wonderful and interesting thing to do. These two bouquets are examples of bouquets, the first one that I made myself and the second one that I was gifted. But just having them to hand and actually being able to draw or to paint from life has been such an excellent technique and excellent thing to do, because you take note of different shapes, you take note of different colors, you can move them around. I'll leave the link to this art vlog down below in case you want to take a closer look at this bouquet or see the art that I created as a result of it. I think it's just important to draw inspiration from wherever you can, but if you have the ability to have some inspiration and paint from life and draw from life, then I encourage you to do that too. Following that, I think one of the first lessons that I gained when I was there was the benefit of warming up, and Claire did some really cool exercises under timed conditions where she was just showing us the benefits and the exercises that she likes to do when warming up. I am someone who completely underestimates the value of doing warm-ups, but not only are they fun, but I could actually see tangible differences the more practice that I had and the more I did it in my own art, and it's something that I have been adding to and doing more often since then. Try doing something like short time studies or drawing with a continuous line. There are so many different and wonderful exercises that you can try. A couple of exercises that we didn't do but I thought could be a lot of fun to do as well would be drawing the negative spaces rather than focusing on the actual shape that you're looking at, or looking at a reference or a subject for a set period of time, putting it away and then drawing it without looking back at the reference to see how close you are to it. Or even something as simple as just painting or drawing with your eyes closed and seeing what it looks like and how close it is to what you were trying to convey. I shared these and more in an upcoming video, which I'll link down below in the description for you, just highlighting all the different warm-up exercises and which ones work best for me. If you feel up to the challenge, then pick one of the flowers from this video that I'm going to be showing you now, take a screenshot and try to recreate it in 1 minute. There's plenty of flowers, so if you want to try and do some with your eyes closed and also doing some with one continuous line, that is completely fine. I would love to see it, so if you do create something, share it on Instagram and tag me or send it to me so that I can see. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry. Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.
Another fun thing that we did was actually use the flowers and lay them down on a piece of paper in order to think about composition and where we want to place things in our paintings. And it was just a really tangible way of thinking about our paintings and thinking about structure and composition. And this is something that I'm probably going to end up buying some fake florals maybe to actually just practice it a little bit more. I really definitely enjoyed it. I love gouache. In fact, so much so that I have created an entire course on how to use gouache to create landscape paintings, and I'll leave it linked down below for you if that is something that you are interested in and we can go through it together. However, I don't tend to create gouache florals, and that's something that I really wanted to dedicate a bit more time to. And that is why this workshop came at the perfect time for me. And it also just leads on to my third point for more looser, more expressive florals, and that is to play with your materials. I usually like to paint with big brushes, and I like to paint the same things using my gouache. However, you can imagine my surprise when I was given like the tiniest brush. The tiniest brush and a big sheet of paper to paint florals, which is something that although I love to do in watercolor, I hadn't really done in gouache. And to be honest, I embraced it. Sometimes it is just worth changing up the supplies that you have, using them to create different subjects, using different sizes, and just seeing what happens. Doing something like using a different shaped brush or using a different brush size, a different paper size, different materials can just have such a big impact and be a good way to loosen you up and a good way to just spark different ideas and spark inspiration as well. So look around your room, look around your studio or your desk, and just make use of the supplies that you have that perhaps you haven't used much recently, or try to use the ones that you do use in a different way. I really learned this in a beautiful way, not only in this workshop, but also a few months ago when I started painting with different shaped brushes and I started using dagger brushes, and I could see such a drastic and beautiful change in my artwork as a result. So I'll link the video for you if you're interested, but that's definitely a lesson that has worked for me, and that is to just play around with your materials. If you're enjoying this and you want to see more videos like this, then don't forget to hit the like button and to consider subscribing. It's a free way that encourages me, that supports the channel, and that ensures that I can continue to create videos that you enjoy. Thank you so much in advance, but let's continue. Following that, we just looked at the art that everyone had created, and it was absolutely stunning. And again, you can just draw so much inspiration from the art that others create. Is also so much fun creating art with other people who love florals as much as you do, art as much as you do, art supplies as much as you do. And if you want something similar, then you are more than welcome to join my Ko-fi, which I will link down below for you, where we do all of that. And you'll also have access to exclusive videos, to art challenges, to a Discord community, and so much more. So I'll leave it linked down below for you. And whether you're looking at someone else's work or your own work, it's always worth thinking about what is it that you're drawn to in that art piece, what is it that you enjoy. And Claire and Omar were kind enough to also share their own art and just have it as inspiration throughout the beautiful workspace. Having an absolutely amazing time. After an amazing morning with Claire exploring gouache, exploring adding mixed media, so pencils on top of it, using different materials that I would normally do, painting from observations and playing around with creating a composition on paper using flowers. We then went on to Omar's session in the afternoon, which was all focused on watercolors, on being loose, and also on using ink and a dip pen, which I hadn't done before. And again, I was grinning from ear to ear the entire day. The entire day. I was so unbelievably happy, so grateful that I had gone there, so happy with everything that I was learning. And yeah. I'm just really, really glad and really grateful that I went, and I highly recommend this course if you see it or if you see others. They are both really great teachers who teach in completely different ways, but I've just learned so much from the workshop itself. I think this leads us on nicely to another tip, and that is tips on how to be looser. I feel like I am relatively loose, but you can still be even looser if you want, and that was one of the things that Omar was pointing out. I think finding your style and finding what you like will come with time, with play, with experimentation, and with practice. But some of the things that helped me to be even looser was just using more water, really letting the watercolor play on the paper rather than trying to control every single brushstroke that I was doing, and also leaving more white space and leaving more negative spaces, and kind of being aware of the fact that I could come back and add extra details with the ink pens, which is what we were going to do. So this is where it stopped at this point. I loved the paintings, but were it not for Omar being there, I think I would have added even more details, and I'm glad that it stopped there, because the extra details that we added with the dip pen were chef's kiss. Like, I absolutely loved these complete paintings, and I felt so inspired. I just kept creating more and more and more and more paintings, because it just felt like I was loose, I was free, I was out of my head, and I was just really curious to experiment and to see what would happen, and I really just ran with it. And I hope that through doing these exercises, through watching this video, through all the flowers and the beautiful inspiration, that you will also feel the same, that you'll pick up your brush or pick up your pen or pick up whatever art material you want to use and just have fun on the page and just keep going and going and going, because art is meant to be fun. And I think that once we start focusing more on enjoying the process, the results will be wonderful, or they will remind us of a wonderful time, which sometimes is equally great. If you are interested in the dip pens, in the inks, in the Heinemüller paper that we used, then be sure to check out the description, where I will link everything for you. This is the beautiful painting that Omar did based on the rose that she named after me. And here is the beautiful art that all the ladies created from the watercolor portion of the workshop. And I am so amazed by everyone's art. I felt so inspired by everyone that was there. Here are some of the pieces that I also created. And as I mentioned, I just kept creating more and more and more and more, because I felt so free when I was there, and so excited and so inspired to create. And I just had a wonderful time creating with everyone, including Katie Moody, who also attended the course. So it was amazing. It was wonderful, and it's not sponsored. I paid for it myself. I just had an amazing time, and I wanted to share it with you. And honestly, if I could give one bonus tip, it would be to make time to create with others, whether it be meeting up with friends, a Patreon, a Ko-fi, a course, because it can be so much fun and just so good for us. If you are still watching, then you are a real MVP, and I really, really, really appreciate you. Let me know that you are still watching by putting a heart emoji in the comments, and then you'll know, I'll know, and we'll all know that you are a real MVP. And honestly, it's just because it was incredible. Like, I have nothing but love for that workshop. If you enjoyed this video, then you will definitely love these next ones, where I just share more about painting outdoors and all the inspiration that I gained through it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.